So, great thing about this little setup here, like this, when you're running this IR and it's primarily the dry signal, you're getting just a touch of that Aguilar cabinet in there, as well as you're getting on the other, you're getting primarily the DI signal right there. Then running into the amp and getting that mic'd up, you get another layer of bottom to play with. You pretty much can mix the two. So that's the little GK amp right there. You guys can't really see my settings for it, but pretty much. Let's see what I got here. on the Scallion Kruger. I'm actually running it off of my B3. So bass is on 7, mids is 0, treble is 5. Mid frequency is 500, gain is 40, level is 100, and the color is set to mid, and the mix is 0, meaning it's completely just the um, amp sound, model sound. But yeah, so pretty much, guys, it's you know having a nice simple chain with some things that add just slight characteristics. Things like your amp model head. I mean, either your amp model or your analog preamp pedal type thing functioning as the head, of the situation, and then that running into a compressor and then into a 1073 preamp. If you have a real one, you're lucky because they're very expensive. But if you can't afford one, for half of that price, for 500 plus the IRs and everything else you get with the Zoom B6, you could get that close enough to that 1073 sound. Nobody's gonna know. No, they won't know. Nobody know. Nobody care. It's close enough. Did it sound good? It sound good? All right, cool. That's all we know. They'll never know. They're gonna find out. No, they won't. No, they won't. Not unless I tell them or they watch my videos. But yeah, then you can run that signal through a send to your amp. If you want to mic your amp actual cabinet up, run that to the return on there, and that'll give you bypass the amps preamp, so you don't have 3 preamps running there in a row. But yeah, and then you just throw a little eye on it, or you run a straight DI out. If you don't have a cabinet, or say you're recording in a hotel room and you just got your B6, you put that 1073 on and an IR, and you're gonna go, and it's gonna be fire every time, every single time. And like your natural sound of your bass is really gonna come through and shine a lot more. But if you want the sound of an amp or a preamp, then you just throw that in front of all that with a compressor, to keep things tame reasonably. And then yeah, you got a good signal. Do not over compress. Compress very little, if at all. You don't really for when you're sending the tracks out to folks. So like if you got to send it out to an engineer, compress it as little as possible. Just enough EQ and things to shape it the way you want it to sound, but don't overly process it, compressing it and limiting it, things like that, because it becomes difficult for them to do what they need to do, and it makes them have less options or flexibility of options that they could use. If you've already compressed it the heck out of it, they can't uncompress it, so it needs to just, very little. That's why I said on my Spectracomp, I'm just turning it on for real. I'm leaving it all the way to the left, and I'm just turning it on, and that's it. And that way, only the very excessive peaks are being like brought down just a little bit. It's still a lot of peaks in there, so they can tame it or let the peaks shine or do whatever they got to do from there. But the key is to not over compress it and not over equalize it either. So, to the point where they have to undo a lot of that. They got to bring down all the lows and everything. They're going to have to tame a lot of stuff anyway, depending on the mix, But I just try to give them a nice big bass signal with at least 2 channels, one with the DI signal and one with the IR or a cabinet or both of those thing. I might give them 3 tracks if it's got the IRs and stuff on there too. But flexibility is going to be the key when you're getting it back to folks and you're working. Like when you get that track back to them, it needs to sound good, but it needs to be within a range that the mix engineer has an opportunity to work with it. Because I have got, had to resend out tracks because I added all these plugins and stuff, and They was like, can you just send it without all that garbage on there? So this way, if you do it this way, you pretty much got your raw bass sound, or at least for me, I do like the sound of my actual just plain bass, but I never use that on recordings. It never sits the way I want it to. So I use, my preamps and things like that to enhance the signal frequencies in certain ways. Um, and I use this Neve, like I said, to just add some color, and then the IRs just add the cabinet sound to it, and then I just need to balance that. Or what I prefer is to send that out before the IR, and then I don't have to worry about the balance. I could turn it all the way on 100 on the IR, and then I already have a signal that's 100% DI, and then another signal that's 100% um, IR, or um, and or I still have a third track with my actual amp mic'd up with I'm just using a little D12. Was it? Yeah, I think it's a D12, D112, something like that. It's a CAD little joint that come in the little kit, the little kit that's on the drums, the little same one that come with those. It don't have to be fancy. It just needs to be functional and sound reasonably good and workable. Nobody knows the difference um, when they're listening, as long as it sounds good. So nobody, I've never listened to a track, man, I wish he had used really expensive mic or whatever. I don't know. I just don't listen like that. I listen for what the player's trying to portray more than anything. And I think that's what most people do. They just trying to enjoy the music. They're not trying to overanalyze it like a musician does. So, make them enjoy it more than anything. And part of that enjoyment is the sound. So spend some time working through the sounds and stuff. Please worry about your tone. It is very important. But, understand that these are just tools to get your natural sound out to the people, or get the sound that you have in your head out to the people. So, you know, um, from here you can pretty much just add effects. Probably before all of this stuff, you want to run your effects and run it like you're running it into an amp. If you're doing a whole virtual setup, so that'll definitely get you moving around and get you working. So, this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, effects, tutorials, demos, and review. Please subscribe, like, and share. Yes, we need you to subscribe, like, and share. We need them likes up. It definitely helps me in the algorithm. I'm trying to reach a certain goal by next year. Um, you guys have done an amazing job supporting me so far, especially for some reason I think maybe I was shadow banned for a little bit. I had to get in touch with YouTube for a few years. They weren't really putting me in the algorithm like that. And it comes to find out they had some weird copyright thing on me that I never had. And then they went and did an investigation and they couldn't find anything. So, it's just now that they're actually sending me out to you guys. So I definitely appreciate that you guys are now supporting me. I thought I was like, all right, man, maybe they don't want what I got to offer. Nah, but you guys are amazing. You guys have definitely, you know, whenever you guys have found me, you guys have been very supportive and very nice. Even in the comments, I don't really get the negative comments and things like that. And I really do appreciate that. Not that I wouldn't take constructive criticism or criticism in general. Everybody not going to have something nice to say about you. But I do appreciate you guys really, all the love you guys have shown me. And it's been usually at times when I've been like, man, it's getting a little rough to keep doing. But you guys always find a way to come through for me. So I definitely appreciate y'all. You can find me on all social media at the Bass Negus, or Negus. It's technically pronounced Negus. I say Negus because it helps some of you guys, pronounce it a little easier. But allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. Go check out my music. Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Tidal, all that stuff. Find my music everywhere. The All Bass Creations album, as well as I have singles out as well. You know, some of my music is under Reginald Payne or Reggie Payne, and some of my stuff is under the bass Negus. All my recent stuff is the bass Negus. So definitely check it out when you get a chance, you know, and subscribe, like, and share. Hit that Cash App and the supers. I definitely appreciate y'all, man. And we'll vibe another time. Catch you. Peace.